All right, today we're talking about a massive shift that's happening right under our noses. Seriously, the way we find information online is changing in a fundamental way. So, you might want to forget everything you thought you knew about getting to the top of Google. We're stepping into a whole new world, and it's called AI SEO.
Okay, let me start by asking you a really simple question. Just think about it for a second. When was the last time you were searching for something and actually clicked over to the second page of results? Yeah, if you're like pretty much everyone else, it's probably been a minute. See, your own habits have already changed, and that's exactly what we're going to get into.
And this slide, it just shows that shift perfectly. Over on the left, you've got a search result from, say, 2015. You know, that classic list of 10 blue links. Your job was to click around and figure it out yourself. But on the right, that's the 2025 reality. The answer is just there, right at the top, all neatly summarized by an AI. There's way less need to dig around, which of course means fewer clicks. The search engine isn't a directory anymore. It's become an answer engine. So this brings us to the real problem for anyone who has a website or is trying to get found online. We are officially living in the era of the zero-click search. You see, the goal for search engines has changed. It's not just about pointing you in the right direction anymore. It's about giving you the answer directly. And that means that click, the one that used to go to a website, well, it's starting to vanish. Yep, your potential customers, your readers, your audience, they're getting their info straight from the source. And more, that source is an AI. It could be a Google AI overview, a quick snapshot from Gemini, or a summary from ChatGPT. The point is, the answer is delivered instantly, often without a single click to an actual website. And the scale of this is, honestly, it's staggering. Get this, in some markets, like the GCC, over 70% of user search activity is now happening outside of the traditional results page. People are just asking questions directly inside AI tools, they're searching on social media, using their voice assistants. The whole game has changed. I absolutely love this analogy because it just nails the new mindset. For years, SEO, search engine optimization, it was like trying to get your book on the best, most visible shelf in the library. But today, AI SEO is about becoming so authoritative, so clear, that the AI librarian just bypasses the shelf completely and quotes your work directly to the person who's asking. So if the problem is this whole vanishing click thing, then what in the world is the solution? Well, it's a completely new strategy, and it's called AI SEO. And this isn't just some small tweak, it's a total reinvention of how we even think about getting discovered online. So what is AI SEO really when you boil it down? When you boil it down, it's a three-part strategy. First, it's about creating content that perfectly matches what people are actually looking for, the real intent. Second, you have to make sure your website is structured in a way that AI models can easily read it and make sense of it. And third, it's about building really strong trust signals that prove to the AI that you are a credible, authoritative source worth quoting. Okay, that all sounds good in theory, but how does this actually work in practice? We can break AI SEO down into three main pillars that all have to work together to make your stuff visible in this new world. These three pillars are absolutely crucial. First up, you've got entity and reputation. This is all about building up your brand's authority and trust. It's about proving your expertise, your experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, what the folks at Google call EEAT. Then there's technical AI SEO. This is the nuts and bolts of making sure your site is perfectly structured for AI crawlers to read and understand. And finally, AI content marketing, which is all about creating amazing content that directly answers the very specific questions your users are asking. And you can't just do one. You really need all three working in sync. And this right here, this is the fundamental shift in how we measure success. The goal isn't to be number one on a list of links anymore. No way. The real prize now is becoming a trusted, cited source across this whole ecosystem of AI platforms. We're talking Google, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, you name it. Success is now defined by your authority, not just your rank. Okay, so why does any of this actually matter to you? Look, whether you run a small business, you're a content creator, or you manage marketing for a huge company, this shift impacts literally anyone who is trying to be found online. The old rules just don't guarantee you'll be seen anymore. Let's just quickly recap the big takeaways here. First, search has totally evolved from a list of links into a direct answer engine. Second, being visible now means being the source for the AI, not just another link in a long list. Third, a solid AI SEO strategy has to be built on authority,
technical readability, and a laser focus on user intent. And finally, just remember, this isn't some niche little trend. It's a massive shift that affects every single person trying to connect with an audience online. And this all leaves us with a really fascinating and kind of big question for the future. The old web of links encouraged us to browse, to explore, to stumble upon things we weren't even looking for. But as AI becomes our main way of getting information, giving us these hyper-specific answers to our questions, you have to wonder, in a world that's so optimized for answers, how will we make sure we can still discover completely new ideas?